Going to these places sucks. These places suck. Okay, so being diagnosed with ADHD and autism means that there are a lot of different places that I don't particularly enjoy going. Movie theaters. Oh, movie theaters are a tricky one because there's some cool things about movie theaters. I like movies. Some movies more than others. Actually, because of my ADHD, I would say 70% or 75% of movies I can't even sit through. But the really, really good ones, I love. Braveheart. I love that movie. I've seen it 15 or 20 times. It's a long movie, but I was able to sit through the whole thing. The first time I saw Braveheart was in the movie theater, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of those videos where you have to see on the big screen. There are a few rare instances where going to the movie theater, overall the experience is worth it. But that doesn't mean that going to the movie theater doesn't pose challenges. And let me tell you, for me personally, it poses a lot of challenges. For one, there's usually a lot of people. I don't like a lot of people. The other thing is the volume of the speakers is loud. It feels almost like my skull is too small for my brain. It squishes it.
I'm crushing your head!
The other thing about the noises is sometimes it's very sudden. You're sitting there and you're watching the screen, it's da 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 bang! And that, ooh, I lose too many seconds of not breathing without realizing it. And that hurts. The other thing about the movie theaters is the screen is so big that the images shift quickly and sometimes the lights bother me. Bright flashing lights on a large screen, they give me headaches. Sometimes it makes me feel nauseous. I saw the Blair Witch Project in the movie theater. That was a horrible experience for me. When I was first watching it, I found myself having to close my eyes a lot, and I think other people had similar issues to this. I had to close my eyes a lot and I thought, okay, it'll pass, just push through it. And then you hear the screaming and in the woods, and oh my gosh, I opened my eyes and I would just feel car sick. I felt nauseous. I didn't make it through the whole video, but a lot of videos have bright flashing lights. That in combination with the loud sounds, the sudden changes of images, light, image changing, boom, 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 fast. It's like getting smacked in the face every few seconds, and nobody likes that. Nobody wants to get smacked in the face. I don't want to pay 20, 25 bucks to go into a room to get smacked in the face. The sound of popcorn. Oh, the sound of people chewing popcorn. I think a lot of times the sound of people eating can bother me, but popcorn's that's, and I don't know if other people with autism, if you can relate, throw it in the comments. Tell me what foods other people eat that really, really bother you. Popcorn is a big one for me. But other people around there, they're chewing, they're smacking, they're chomping. Oh, it's gross. And then there's always one person in that movie theater whose laugh is horrible. Certain laughs are addicting. When you hear them, it just makes you want to laugh. You want to laugh with them because it's an awesome laugh. But then there's also that laugh where you want to tase them. You wish that they had an electrical collar around their neck, and every time they did that laugh, you just push the button. The other thing that I find really suspicious, at first it was interesting, but now I'm getting suspicious about this, is that person with the horrible laugh, they're always sitting behind me. When I go to movies, there's generally two types of people that will sit behind me. One, that person with that laugh. Or it's two ladies. It is two ladies, they're young, and they say like all the time. I was like, oh my God, John is like, we were like, a lot of upward inflection, like, constantly, yeah, oh, I do. And then I was like trying, and then after I said, and he didn't want, and I can't believe Timmy did that. And sorry, what was I talking about? And every time there's that upward inflection, it's like a jolt in the back of my head. And every time they say like, I was like, because it doesn't even mean anything. It's a jolt in the back of my head. Those two are always behind me in the movie theater. Here's what happens. We sit down because it's an arm and a leg to get me to the movie theater, but Debbie wants to go certain times. So we sit in our spot, they roll in. And when they start doing anything, Debbie will gently grab my hand and she will squeeze it. And it's her way of saying, I am so sorry. If I could turn around and bitch slap them, I would do it for you. The other thing about being in a movie theater that bothers me is there's a very strong likelihood, especially if it's a popular movie, that I'm gonna be sitting next to a complete stranger. I don't like being near people I don't know, and I don't like sitting next to people in the dark that I don't know. It gets a little bit more complicated because then there's the whole issue of the hand on the seat. I have ADHD, so I move around a lot. Sometimes I like to put my hands up there, sometimes I like to put them down. When I put my hands up there, I feel comfortable. And if I've gotten a really good position, I don't want to relinquish that advantage that I have with my elbows on the chair rest. If I move them down, they're going to take over that space and they're going to keep it there through the entire movie. And there's going to be times where the ADHD kicks in, I need to reshift, I need to get elevation, I need to reposition, I need to re-administer where my arm is. Maybe for most people it doesn't bother them that much, but for me it just stews in my brain. I can smell their arm on the armchair next to me. I get hot. I start to feel hot and warm inside. And if it's a scary or intense movie or a spy thriller or something like that, I'm already nervous. My heart's already beating. But then the armchair thing comes in, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna start elevating to sweat.
Wow, okay.
So I'm sitting in a chair, flashing lights, bright lights, popcorn chewing. I got Tweedledee and Tweedledum behind me talking about like. And I got that one lady cackling, and then I've got this dude next to me who's sabotaging my viewing space. For all of those reasons, going to the movie theater tends to not be worth it. If you were to check my Netflix, my longest list is unfinished videos. Continue watching, Chris, or whatever it says. I just can't get through a lot of these TV shows or a lot of these videos or a lot of these movies. I think that's more of the ADHD issue.